The only problem with this place, all the damn vampires. No, we're gonna get into my top 10 vampire movies of all time. Let's do it. Hey, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna count down my top 10 favorite vampire movies of all time with 2 honorable mentions. Now, our lists will differ because we all like different movies and think different movies are better. This is just my list, in my humble opinion. Let's start off my 2 honorable mentions. We'll get into my top 10. My first honorable mention is 2010's Stakeland, directed by Jim Mickle. If you've never seen it, it's about these people on the road trying to survive during a vampire apocalypse. It's a post-apocalyptic type film. It's definitely worth checking out. There is a sequel. I know there's a Blu-ray out there you can stream on your streaming service of choice. Check it out if you've never seen it. Stakeland is definitely worth your time. The other honorable mention would be From Dusk Till Dawn, directed by Robert Rodriguez, written by Quentin Tarantino. We all know it. We all love it. I love that movie too, but it wasn't quite top 10 worthy in my opinion, so it's an honorable mention. Now we're getting into my top 10. My number 10 film is Daybreakers. This film came out in 2009. It was directed by the Spielberg brothers. It stars William Dafoe and Ethan Hawke, and the great Sam Neill's in there as well. It's a little bit of a different take on the vampire genre. I really like that film. If you've never seen it, check it out. It was an Australian production. Daybreakers at my number 10. Number 9 is Blade. This movie came out in 1998. It was directed by Stephen Norrington and gave us Wesley Snipes' his Blade, and he was awesome in the role. Now, the sequel, I would contend, is better, but I decided to put the original on the list instead of the sequel. But yes, I always loved that first Blade movie as well, and you also have Stephen Dorff in there as the villain. I always liked that Uta Kier is in there. I love that film. I remember seeing the movies back in the day. Number 8 is 1931's Dracula, the original Dracula of Bela Lugosi. It's a classic. It's a Universal classic monster film. So that's number 8 on my list. Number 7, The Lost Boys, directed by Joel Schumacher. Starring Kiefer Sutherland and the Coreys. Love The Lost Boys. It's just a fun vampire film, and it's definitely a product of its time, but it holds up pretty well. And yeah, The Lost Boys kicks ass. Number 6 goes to my favorite horror director of all time, John Carpenter's Vampires. I know a lot of people don't like this film. I love it. I remember seeing it opening weekend. James Woods is terrific in the film, and I also like the vampires. It's basically a horror western. Carpenter finally got to do his western that he always wanted to do, just with horror elements, and it's fantastic, and it pulls no punches. It's definitely a hard R. If you've never seen it, John Carpenter's Vampires at number 6. Number 5 is 1979's Salem's Lot, directed by Tobe Hooper. I know I've talked about this the last several weeks in some of my top 10s. Fantastic TV miniseries, great atmosphere. Tobe Hooper directed the shit out of that film. The vampires are creepy looking and scary, and I just love that original miniseries. I know they remade it back in the early 2000s with Rob Lowe, Donald Sutherland, but I don't like that version as much. I like the original version in '79. So Salem's Lot at number 5. At number 4, Let Me In, directed by Matt Reeves. I really like that film. It's really well done. I know it's a remake of a foreign language film, but I've never seen that version. I only seen the English language version. It's a damn good vampire film. If you've never seen it, check it out. Number 3, Bram Stoker's Dracula, directed by Francis Ford Coppola. I've always loved it. I got to see this in the theaters. I was 13 years old when this came out. I absolutely fell in love with it. I still love it to this day. Gary Oldman was fantastic as Dracula. And you got Winona Ryder in there. Anthony Hopkins is in there. Cary Elwes is in there. There's a great cast, and it's just a really well done vampire film. Number 2, I would go with Near Dark, directed by Catherine Bigelow, starring Bill Paxton, Lance Henriksen, so on and so forth. Love that film. It kicks ass. It's a vampire western. If you've never seen it, check out Near Dark. Do yourself a favor. And my number 1 vampire film of all time, Fright Night. The original Fright Night, written and directed by Tom Holland, starring Chris Sarandon and Williams Ragsdale. Fantastic vampire film. If you've never seen it, it's an absolute classic. And actually the sequel is pretty damn good as well. The sequel does not get talked about enough, but the sequel kicks ass as well. So there is my top 10 vampire films, my favorite ones of all time. There's some other ones that I like that I didn't mention, like 30 Days of Night. I like that film. I like the first Underworld movie and a few other ones. And there's some other ones that I'm not thinking of. I have a list here. Those are the ones that were worth. Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, I don't mind that one either. But those were my top 10 with the 2 honorable mentions. What's your favorite vampire film? Leave a comment down below, let me know. Hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, all that great stuff. And I hope you're all doing well out there. And I'll be back soon with another video. Thanks. Bye.